edition.
Hello, folks. We're back again, and we wanted to tell you about a game we played yesterday, all afternoon. I'd say a good part of the day.
Yep. From 11 till probably what was it? 8 o'clock, 8:30.
I think it was about 8:30 when we finished.
So a good 9.5 hour game.
And then we chatted for a bit after that.
Yeah, that's where it's a little fuzzy on how long it took, but yeah. Twilight Imperium.
Yes, Twilight Imperium. That game. This is a game from Fantasy Flight. It came out about this time.
Yeah.
It was one of the first, I think, big box games. I remember in my early days of going to game stores and looking around and stuff back when I was just looking for War Machine miniatures or something. I'd always see that big box, that Twilight Imperium box. And I never really thought that I'd get to dig into it.
Yeah.
But today we're going to tell you about our experience. We're going to do this in a quick video. We've got a timer going.
We're going to try to.
Yeah, so we're going. This is a 10 minutes or more.
10 minutes or more. Yeah.
Or maybe less. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So I really liked it. All right, thank you for joining us.
Bye. Yeah. So this is the 4th edition that we played. So I don't remember. I feel like I remember 4th edition coming out like.
Yeah.
A few years ago or something, like 2-3 years ago maybe, or so.
I don't remember exactly, but because I'm aware that it did come out, I'm thinking it's around 2018 or so. It's when I got really tuned into board games and the goings on. So sometime after 2018, I think the last one came out.
Yeah, and Twilight Imperium is a game that you probably heard of if you haven't played it before. And it's one of those games that's really well received. People love it. It's a 8-hour plus game, to play. So not very many people actually play it. In fact, a lot of people buy it and never play it and sell it because they can't get a group to sit for that long. So we had to actually coordinate this. And one of our friends from the board game meetup actually coordinated us 6 people, including himself 6, to get together to play, and it worked really well, but everybody had to set aside that whole day and prep ahead of time. We had to learn the rules and everything on our own and get ready for it.
That doesn't include the rules teach or anything. We kind of pre-gamed the rules teach. It was like 2 or 3 hours of on TTS and just hanging out and talking about it too.
And we were goofing around and maybe ate some food for like not even a half an hour in between. But you could. I mean, it's an 8-hour game in general for people though to play through. And it kind of it takes a long time and then it wraps up real quick at the end. Usually people are going to bust out these last 4 out of it's a 10-point game and they're busting out that last few points. But man, it is a lot of fun, and it's a great if you have you want to be with a group of people that you enjoy socializing with for several hours, and we all like each other quite a bit, so I really liked it a lot.
So for me, the appeal of the game were the varied factions and how interesting they were. Like all the factions seemed thematic. And really interesting. Like you could deep dive, and if you wanted to, there's plenty of lore. I watched some videos about mine. I didn't read a lot of the lore on the back, but there's a whole story on the back of how what happened with them and how they came to be where they are. And I really liked how different everyone was from one another. I thought that made the tactics sort of this continually evolving thing and stuff. So
now if you've heard of Eclipse, I think Eclipse came out after probably quite a bit. I mean, Eclipse is a little bit older of a game too. They're on their 2nd edition, but they came out just a little bit. I don't know when the original Twilight Imperium came out, but they came out afterwards, and it was like a much more like digestible amount of time for people. You could play it in like 4 hours with a group of like 4 or more. You need at least 2 for that one. Twilight Imperium, I think, is at least 3, and you probably always want to have like 5 or 6 really to play through. But it's the same kind of idea. It's a 4X game, space exploration. Again, you probably already know this. You probably heard about it. Maybe you owned this once. I don't know, and got rid of it already. But it still has like Sean said, you play into your character's specific abilities. They feel very different. Everyone that you're seeing on the board is playing very different. We had one that was a super warring faction. You had myself playing this plant characters, the Arborec, that was just like stationing up and just overgrowthing into the areas slowly. And then Sean, yours was the diplomacy turtle people.
Yeah, I was the turtles.
Yeah, and then we had the rich
the humans.
lions.
Yeah, they had the humans and the pirates and the lions.
They all played very much to the style of their their race, and that was. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed how you really and you get a lot of plastic on the board in a fairly easy manner. Like I don't know, for me it was anyways, but it's relatively easy to get a lot of pieces out on the board, and then so it's not so big of a deal if you get in a fight and you lose some, you can build them back up with relative ease.
One thing that makes it a little different too is like it's got just 10 points, only 10 points, and as soon as someone hits that 10th point, the game's over.
Which is quite a bit different from Eclipse, because Eclipse is just kind of like get as many points as you can, and there's several different ways of doing it. Yeah, and so you have a timer on that one. But Eclipse Twilight Imperium ends usually in like 6 rounds or so, but rounds an hour plus 6, 7. I don't know, because we finished in like the 7th round, I think.
Yeah. It actually wrapped up pretty tight for us. That player scored like 3 or 4 points all in a row and just kind of like zoomed over to the end.
We had at least 3 people that were ready to win on the next round. So so it was like and I kind of like I don't know if I gave the win, but I helped out the win at the end. I kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit.
You're going for a point like you do.
Yeah, you're trying to make a deal. That's one thing that's different than like Eclipse or whatever, is that there's a lot of wheeling and dealing going on in the game. There's a lot of like Monopoly-esque, not to compare it directly to Monopoly, but the sense that like, hey, you want to do a deal, little side deals going on all the time.
To the point where sometimes you'd forget even that you could like charge somebody a little extra for that, or really. Yeah, like I needed one example. I needed one of those cards. They have like these treaties, and you just hand these cards to say I won't attack you. There's actually a variety of different things that they can do, but I needed one of those for a secret objective. So I just built a mothership right next to someone else and said, "Hey, do you want to do a treaty?" And they're like, "Yes, please." Easy as pie.
And that gave you a point. Is that what it was? Yeah. So you have all these secret objectives that you're going for. There's a fair amount of I would still say there's a fair amount of luck in the game, even though there's a lot of strategy with it too. But there's a fair amount of luck in the way that your secret objectives come out, and how you're going to be able to actually accomplish, because it's all points. It doesn't really matter. I mean, for the most part, it doesn't matter how big your fleet is, how many people you kill, how many battles you win. You get nothing for that unless you have a secret objective that says that you do, and so there's a bit of luck involved with it, but
that's only 3 of your points, and the rest of them have to come out and be something like the things that happened, the public ones.
Yeah, well, the secret objective. I mean, you could get a bunch of secret objectives throughout the game.
You can only score 3 of them, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I missed that. I only had 1 scored, I think, at the end, but so that helps.
One more turn, and I would have had my 3rd one.
Yeah.
But like we said, we both had a great time playing it. Paulo, the guy that taught us, is great at teaching games. I love like getting lessons from him. He does such a great job. He's taught us so many games.
Yeah, I want to get him involved in doing instructional videos, but he just had a baby this year too, so I don't think that might be another 10 to 18 years before that happens, but.
Maybe we can start slipping money into a college fund or something, get them to come over and do some how-to-plays and stuff.
Pay for a babysitter one night.
But thanks, Paulo, for having us over to your house while the wife was away.
It's a blast. It really is a blast of a game, though. If you ever get the opportunity to play it, if you have a friend that owns the game and is trying to get a group together, encourage it, go do it. Be prepared that you're going to spend the whole day. Again, it's like an event to play this game. But it was a lot of fun. And get together, have a meal in the middle of it. Get some pizza or whatever, and and just keep the party going and last through those 9 hours or whatever that it takes. Actually, I mean, the day went by pretty quick. I thought. I mean, I was
Well, it's kind of a light game. It's like semi-heavy, especially if
Yeah.
you played a lot of games before.
Right,
And so
yeah.
by the time your turn comes around, like you're supposed to pay attention, but you can kind of half pay attention
Yeah.
as things are going around. But at the time it takes to have another turn, I mean, you got plenty of time to figure out what you should do next.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
unless something changes,
unless
somebody,
something's just been dropped in your lap or
yeah,
something.
somebody takes the thing that you were planning your whole turn on, and you're like, okay, now I got to reorganize
So
this.
don't let the weight distract you
No.
from playing
No,
it.
it's very approachable.
It's
Yeah,
it's
it really
it's
is.
good. If you played a few other games, especially, you got it. No problem.
Yeah, you got this.
You probably lose, but it's fine. You'll participate and you'll have fun.
I really enjoyed losing, at least the way that I did, because I knew I had no choice, I had no chance at the end. So I was like, well, okay. The whole experience of spending that much time, though, again with people that you like,
Yeah.
the event of it,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay to lose a game like that because you still
Yeah.
had a great time hanging out with everybody.
I don't think
You had
a
a lot of laughs.
I don't think a
there, too.
competitive version of that, like at a tournament or something, would be. I don't know if that would be fun or not.
Yeah,
It depends on.
it's a
They
little-
might be like super express without all the small talk and dad jokes and stuff.
I
but-
mean, if you played the game like a handful of times, several times, then yeah, maybe you could start kind of being like, okay, let's just do this and get it done. But that's kind of not fun too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
if I
that
would
game
like it like that.
No, maybe not. But it was fun.
So this game has an interesting backstory, and I'm sure you've heard of Shut Up, Sit Down. They did a documentary style thing. Have you seen it? It was all about the creation of this game. You
No,
really ought
I
to
don't think
check it
so.
out because it's one of those games that's more than just a game. It's more than just this guy had the idea and had a game, and Fantasy Flight bought it from him. It's got a cool backstory, and it's definitely worth checking out. So be sure to do that.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to hear more musings from us, well, we do this every now and then. Here's a thing right
all
here,
those musings.
and right here's something that YouTube thinks you like, and I won't tell anybody that this is the video that's showed up for you. So, if you'd like to subscribe to us, we'd love to see you again. And until next time, enjoy your games, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.